Hey, welcome to the spring semester. This is going to be short introduction to both the Math 243 and Math 244. And during this introduction, I'm going to be going through the Math 243 course. But for you folks that are in that second 8-week Math 244 course, the introduction is going to be exactly the same. So the course is split up using Laulima and also using MyLab Math. When you go to Laulima and click on Math 243, now let me change this to student view. Besides that red bar on top, this is what you should see for your course for Math 243. You'll see this welcome page that we're on now. This is the home screen. Has a little bit about myself. And then next it has contact information. So although I have an office phone, email is actually preferred. If you do call my office phone and I'm not there to answer it, you would leave a message that I then get an email of. I can't access my phone messages from, say, my home phone or my cell phone. They actually get emailed to me. So it's best just to email me. It's a lot faster. If you are on the Windward campus, my office is in Hale Manaopono if you want to drop in. I will respond within 24 hours, except for if you do email me weekends and holidays. So this course is set up as a Monday through Friday course, even though it is asynchronous and we have no set meeting times. I set the pace of the course as Monday through Friday. I typically don't assign anything on the weekends, or I don't have weekend deadlines normally. And I work Monday through Friday as well. So if you did email me, say on a Friday night, I might not get back to you until Monday morning. So just something to keep in mind. I will have some Zoom office hours Tuesday to 2 to 3 p.m. They're open office hours. You don't have to make an appointment. You can just jump in on that Zoom link. If you did want to meet via Zoom or even in person in my office, just email me with a preferred day and time at least 24 hours in advance. And I can verify if I'm available, or we can set up something else if I'm not. So yeah, typically I work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 a.m., excluding holidays. So how do you get started in the course? You're going to go to the Start Here page in the navigation bar, and then next read through the syllabus. After that, we'll go on to week 1. So let's just go ahead and do that now. The Start Here page in the navigation bar is directly under our welcome page, and you can read through this. It just has tips for success. This is an 8-week course and it is accelerated. I have streamlined it quite a bit so that it should go really well, and it has a good pace to it, but try not to fall behind because it's really hard to catch up in an 8-week course. So a little bit on the technology you're going to need, hardware, software, and then where to next. So after you read through your Start Here page, then you would go to the syllabus page, which would be the next link down in the navigation bar. And again, you can read through the syllabus. Contact information, our mission statement, a little bit about the course, learning outcomes. What you're most concerned with, I'm sure, is the point breakdown. There's 6 quizzes, but I dropped the 2 lowest scores, so you're only graded on the 4 highest quizzes, and they're 50 points each, so 200 points total on quizzes. Now, the reason why I dropped the lowest 2 is that sometimes people are sick or they have an emergency and they can't take the quiz by the deadline. So instead of having to email me and turn in doctor's notes or whatever you need, don't even worry about it. I just dropped that one and you'll just get a 0 for it. So we have a final exam, 21 MyLab homework assignments, 10 points each, and then we have forum posts that are 5 points each. I don't know why I can't talk today. So there's a total of 545 points, and the way it's distributed is that 300 points are quizzes and exam, and the rest of the points are homework and forum. Over half the points are on quizzes and exams. And in an asynchronous class, if you are transferring to another college, generally they want at least 50% of a course in an asynchronous online class to be exams and quizzes. So the grade is the usual breakdown. 90% and above is an A, 80 to 89 a B, and so on. So again, you can just read through that. So responsibilities is, again, on the Start Here page. It has, did you need high-speed internet, computer skills, checking your emails regularly. The big one is you have to be self-motivated. That's the hard thing in an online class. And setting aside adequate study time. So we have the content that we're going to cover in this course. And then the required material, the only thing that's required of you is to get the IDAP program, and we'll go through that in just a little bit. That's where you're going to be doing all your quizzes, your final exam, and your homework assignments. So that's something you can read through. We have some additional resources. We do have a tutoring center, Capico Tutoring at Windward. It does Zoom tutoring and also in-person tutoring. I don't have the information of the tutors yet that we have. Hopefully we'll have somebody that has taken Math 243. There's also some UH system resources. OLA here, this is an online tutoring program sponsored through UH. And then tutor.com is a 24/7 tutoring online. We have a distance learning homepage through the UH system. And then you're free to use these other resources for homework, such as Symbol Lab or Wolfram Alpha. If you're not familiar with them, they're really good at problem solving. And then the Desmos calculator is really nice for graphing. There's some really nice calculus YouTube videos by this Professor Leonard. I really like those. And then Khan Academy has some videos as well. Now during quizzes and the final exam, you're not allowed to use solvers like Symbol Lab or Wolfram Alpha, but you're free to use any online calculator. So attendance, there is no attendance, but this is an 8-week accelerated course, so you should try really hard to keep up with the material. Because it's only 8 weeks, there is no makeup or extensions. Again, that's why I dropped the 2 lowest quiz. Instead of having a makeup, it's best just to drop the 2 lowest. So a little bit more on exams and quizzes. 6 computer-based quizzes. They're due on the the second Friday of the course through the 7th Friday of the course. We're going to have quizzes due every Friday, but you're free to take them earlier. And then I dropped the 2 lowest. We have 1 cumulative final exam that would be the last Friday of the term. And the quizzes and exams are timed, but they're not proctored, so you can take them on any computer that runs MyLab Math. So for each quiz and for the final exam, you're going to show your work on either paper or a tablet. And then after you submit your quiz and final exam, then you're going to upload your work to Laulima. Part of that is because it's really easy to mistype an answer in MyLab, so I can look at your work and see if I can award partial credit. But another thing is that one of the learning outcomes for the course is that you can communicate mathematics in written form. So this is my opportunity to look at the way you write your answers, and you can communicate mathematics. So that's part of your course grade. So again, I talked about all of these. The MyLab computer-based homeworks, there's 21 of those. They're 10 points each. It's due on Fridays. But you are free to work ahead and work on the weekends. You don't have to just do everything on Friday. I like to have my schedule consistent so everybody knows that, oh, it's got to be done by Friday. It's got to be done by Friday. So if it's late, the homework is late, there is a 1% deduction per day for problems submitted after the due date. And it's not the whole assignment, it's just the like, so you could start a homework assignment, and let's say you don't finish it, then you would just save it. And when you come back, if you come back to finish it after the due date, the 1% deduction will just be on the problems you didn't finish. The other problems that you finished before the due date won't have the deduction. So it's just 1% per day. It's very minimal. It's more an incentive for you to keep up, but it's not to penalize, which is why it's only 1% per day. But the 1% does add up, so don't be too late on those. There is going to be a forum. It's due every Friday, except for the first Friday of the semester. The first Friday, a lot of people are still getting set with their course schedules. So our first week of class, not much is due. But after that, the remaining Fridays, there'll be a lot more assignments due. So there is opportunity for extra credit. So the final exam review is worth up to 10 points. We have an end of semester survey, the CF survey, that's worth 10 points. And then each quiz review is 5 points of extra credit. So you can get a maximum of 20 points extra credit on quiz reviews. Then we have some information on disabilities and our Title IX. So you can read through that. A basic schedule for our 8 weeks is in our syllabus as well. So once you've read through the syllabus, the next thing to do is go down to week 1. But before we do that, I'd like to talk about these other links we have here. So this vital source link for UH Windward CC IDAP, we'll go to that in a little bit. I'm going to skip over that. Our assignments, this is where you're going to upload your work for your quizzes and your final exam. The grade book, the course grade will be in Laulima. Now when we look at the MyLab program, MyLab also has a grade book, but that won't have your course grade. So I'll talk about the grade book in MyLab when we get there, but your course grade will be in this grade book in Laulima. So we have forums, also called discussions. Right now, Laulima is merging forums and discussions into one link. So prior to this year, we had a forum and we had a discussion, and they were separate. So we're using the word forum and discussions interchangeably for the time being. Announcements will be here, and I'll also email you all the announcements. And then our email link, tutoring, I'm going to open that for just a second. So these are the 3 basic tutoring things that were in the syllabus, but I also have links for them as well. I don't believe tutor.com is probably open right now, but Capico Tutoring at Windward, usually it's the second week of the semester that they set their schedule because they have to hire their student tutors. And then OLA, I'm not sure when they set their semester schedule, but you can just check back to that link. Now I have a semester at a glance, just as a summary of things that are due on Fridays, except for the last week. The last week of class, I space things out due Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday because I have to submit the grades for this 8-week class on Saturday. So I've staggered it so that your last homework assignments or any late homework assignments have to be submitted by that Wednesday on the last week of class. Our last forum would be due that Thursday. We're going to have the end of semester survey. That would be due Friday, and the final exam would be due Friday as well. So it's staggered. One way is so that I can keep up. The other thing is that I want to make sure that you guys know your grade before you take your final exam, so you can kind of guesstimate on what kind of score you're going to need on your final exam to get the grade that you would like. So the last 2 days of our last week, really want to spend it having you guys study for your final exam. Anyway, let's go ahead and go to week 1. So that semester schedule at a glance, that's just like an overview. But really, if you want more detailed information about what's due every week, then you would go into the week 1, week 2, week 3, and so on. So week 1 is just our first week of classes. This first top part here talks about what we're going to do this week. The second part with assignments and resources, that's all the stuff you need to complete any assignments that are due that week. And then there's also a checklist for those of you that like checklists. This would be anything that's due. You can just check them off as you go along. And at the bottom of the page, if you have any questions on the course in general, you can email myself. If your Laulima site is not working properly, or if you have an issue, you can send a support ticket here to this link. And then if you have an issue with the MyLab program that we're going to go through, then here's the Pearson support link here. So all the pages, all the weekly pages will look exactly the same. So if you look at here, it's a little welcome blurb. The most important thing is for you guys to register for IDAP, because then you can start doing your assignments. And then next, it's the 2 sections that we're going to cover this week, which would be 12.1, 12.2. So just a little bit about those 2 sections. And then I have a note down here. I do provide lecture videos and notes, but these are optional. You're not graded. You never have to watch them. You never have to use them. But I feel that it supplements the MyLab resources, and my videos are geared more towards directly problem solving. So what I do is I just have these blank notes and I record myself filling them out. So if you want, you can just watch the videos if you choose to, or you could print or upload the notes to a tablet and kind of follow along with me if you choose to. But these are not professional videos and they're a little sketchy, so forgive me. So if you notice under assignments and resources in the first week, we have the introduction video. We have directions on how to register for the IDAP, and you can just go through that. You shouldn't need it, but if they do ask you for the course ID, it's here as well. And then the videos and the notes for 12.1 and 12.2. And just a reminder about that 1% penalty on problems submitted after the due date. So week 2, a little bit about what we're going to cover this week. A reminder that we have our first quiz due that Friday. And the way the quiz is set up is that you're supposed to be working your problems on a tablet or on paper and showing your work as you complete the problems. Once you submit your quiz, and it is timed, so even if you run out of time, it will shut down. But once it's done, you can't go back and review your quiz until after the due date. So just make sure that you're showing your work, or you can take a screenshot of the questions so that you can double check your work after you finish your quiz. You have an hour to upload your work after you've submitted your quiz and your final exam. So that should be enough time for you to just glance through all your work again and then submit it. So in week 2, we have 12.3, 12.4, and 13.1. There's a quiz 1 review on MyLab. So if you click on this link, it'll tell you a little bit about the information for the quiz 1 review. And this quiz 1 link has a little reminder. Don't forget to upload the work to this assignment link. We have a forum, and then there's this forum discussions instructions in case you don't know how to use the forums in Laulima. But for all the quizzes and the final exam, you're going to have to check an honor code box that just says that you're not cheating and working with other people or working with a problem solver online. So just a formality. Once you do hit the honor code, which I already did for this one, it has due dates, has a little bit information about the quiz itself that you're free to read through. So in quiz 1, it's 12.1, 12.4. The questions for the first quiz are actually chosen from the review. So it's not only are the reviews extra credit, but I choose your quiz and your final exam questions from the reviews. Now, because it is my lab, I don't know if you've ever used it before, the question will be the same type of questions, but the numbers might be different. So there's going to be 6 questions on the first quiz. It has to be completed by Friday, January 19th, but you're free to complete any of the assignments ahead of time. And when we go through my lab, you'll see that everything, including the final exam, it's all up. Anybody can do it early. Just remember it's Hawaii time if you're not in Hawaii. So quiz is 50 points. You get an hour. There's no help features, but we'll talk about that when we look at my lab. Just make sure that when you upload your work that it's PDF or JPEG or PNG. Don't use HEIC that's typically on, say, an iPhone, because Laulima won't open it up. I have to download it and change the formatting to be able to read it. So that's it. You would just choose a file from your device to upload it. So let me get out of that. And then let's go ahead and go to the vital source for UH Windward CC IDAP link. This is where you're going to register for the MyLab program. Now when I go in, and this, we should all see this. I hit launch courseware, so you guys should have this same screen where it says launch courseware. I'm still in student view. I wonder if it's going to give me a student view of the course. So when you first hit launch courseware, you won't see this screen, and unfortunately I can't show you what you're going to see because I'm already registered. I created the course, so I won't see what you see at first. But you're going to have to first register for the IDAP MyLab course, and then once you're registered, anytime you hit that launch courseware link, this is the screen that you should see. I'm going to go back. So again, you hit launch courseware and you register first, and then once you're registered, if you go back into launch courseware, you should see this screen. So I'm going to go back to Laulima for just a bit and show you in week 1 the IDAP MyLab registration information if you do get stuck. Pearson has created some instructions that you can follow for, it's not for our particular course, it's just for a general MyLab IDAP course. So you can go through, and that's the screen that you should see, where you have to accept and register first. So again, once you've done that, then when you go in, you should see this screen here. So you can either go straight into your MyLab course and see the whole thing, or you can just go into your assignments. I think more is just announcements, yeah. And then they also have help and support here as well. When I open it, it might not look like a student course because I have an instructor course. I just clicked on that orange tab at the top. I'm going to see the whole course. Yeah, it has instructor home course. So I'm going to look at student view. So you should see a 2-week calendar. And you can see that the first 2 assignments due would be Friday the 12th. They have a little welcome that you can read through. The important thing here is that you do a browser check. So you can get the browser check through the welcome announcement in Pearson or under the help. If you hit on help, there's a browser check. I'm going to go ahead and hit it now. And it looks like I have to check my version of Wolfram CDF Player. But if you do need to, say, update your or install a Wolfram CDF Player, it'll show up here where it will say check version, or it could say update or install. Some other things, maybe you need to update your Adobe and so on. So just do a browser check first before you start doing assignments. Now your screen may be a little different because these little manage course, communication tools, and instructor tools shouldn't show up on the student page. What you should see is you should see your course home, which in my case it would be the instructor page, but yours would be that student page that we were just on. Assignments, student gradebook, e-text content, study plan, video resource library, accessible resources, and purchase option. The only thing you really need, the rest of this stuff is just supplementary, is your assignments and your student gradebook. So if you go into assignments, you can see that we have all the assignments are available for you, all the quizzes, everything for the whole course. You could technically finish this course in a week if you're crazy. I don't think you will. But even the final exam, review the final exam, they're all open for you. So feel free to work ahead if you wish. There is a MyLab tutorial if you're not familiar with the MyLab program. So if you want to go through that, it's optional. It's not graded. The only things that are graded have due dates on the side here. Now, let's say I go into 12.1. I can do questions in the order like 1, 2, 3, or I can skip around once I do a question. Let's see if it'll open here. Sometimes it's a little slow on my computer. So you could just go through the questions, answer them, and save any question that you've already completed. And notice it says that you have a 1% deduction per day from questions completed after the due date. Again, it's just questions. And then you can go back in and finish assignments that you haven't completed or started. The quiz reviews, it's not timed. So once you start them, the quizzes are timed, but the reviews are not. The reviews are usually twice as long as what the quiz would be. So this first review has 12 questions. You can answer them in any order you wish. You can submit the quiz. And you have unlimited tries on the quiz reviews. So unlike the quiz you only have one try, but on the reviews, and it's timed, you can see like quiz 1 says 60 minutes and you only have one try, but quiz 1 review you have infinitely many tries. So I can see my score, which was nothing because I didn't answer any questions. So in the assignments link, that's where you're going to complete things. But in the grade book, that's where you're going to review things. So if you did complete a quiz and it's after the due date has passed, you can go back in and review it. So notice I opened up the quiz 1 review and I opened up 12.1, even though I didn't do any of the problems. So once you've opened something up and you've saved it or you've submitted it, it'll show up in your grade book and you can review it. So when I review it, it'll say that I got everything wrong. It's all in red because I didn't answer anything. And it'll show me what the correct answer is. So when you review it, anytime you see this green star, that would give you the correct answer. And if you click on the green star, if there is a green star, in my case it said I didn't answer anything. But sometimes if you click on the green star, it'll tell you what your answer was if you did submit something. Now on question 2, this you had to fill it in. I answered nothing, but if you got it incorrect, you should see a little red triangle. When you click on it, it will tell you what your answer was, but what's posted is going to be the correct answer. So I'm going to close this down. So again, gradebook is where you review, assignment is where you do. And those are the two things you actually need in MyLab. The rest of this stuff is supplementary. So in the e-contents, that's where you can go through the textbook chapter by chapter. So we're starting with chapter 12. So in 12.1, if I click on that, I can look at the textbook. You see it's showing up. I can look at the interactive figures in that particular section. I can look at the videos for that section. I can work on the study plan, which again is not graded, it's all optional for that particular section. So you can go through the ebook using e-contents. If you feel you need more practice problems, you can go straight to this study plan and choose by chapter. And you can also, this has our whole textbook. The textbook, the hard copy, actually has 17 chapters. It goes from Calculus 1 to Calculus 4. So let's say that you're in Calculus 3 now, but you perhaps forgot some integration techniques. Maybe you forgot how to do trigonometric substitution or something. So you can go in and you can do some practice problems in the study plan, and anytime you see this little gray box, that means there's a video that's going to accompany that particular problem. So again, that's just in case you feel that you need more practice, but optional. There's also the video resource library where you can search by chapter. Again, let's say we're on chapter 12. You can search by section. And then you can decide, okay, do I just want to look at the textbook or do I want to search for videos in 12.1? Maybe I want to look at some interactive figures, some animation. Or what if I select it all? When you hit Find Now and you scroll down, you'll see all the resources for that particular section. There's a lot of videos, there's a lot of figures from the e-text, and so on. And then this would just be that section from the ebook. And then if you need any accessibility resources, they're in my lab as well. There's also a purchase option. You can purchase a hard copy of the textbook, but it's a 3-hole punch version. It's not a textbook. And you can do the complete text. It'll take you to an outside link, and I would like to show you, fail, the link doesn't work. So Calculus 1 and 2, you can just purchase that piece, or you can do the multivariable text. It says Calculus 3, but it's actually Calculus 3 and 4. Let's see if that link works. Yes, it's a loose leaf. And it just covers from chapter 12 on, but it's $50, so it's kind of expensive. But that's there if you would like to use that resources. So that would be the MyLab math site that you can access from the Vital Source link in Laulima. Again, anytime you click on it, after you've registered, just hit Launch Courseware. So let's see, anything else we need to talk about here? No, I think that's it for now. Anyway, welcome to the course. Please email me if you have any questions or concerns about this course. And that's it.